So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this, the third and final race of the evening here at Brands Hatch, the final race of the 2014 BSR Carrera Cup. And two men in the running for the championship still. It is Ian D. Smythe versus Stefan Hook. One man will have to walk away from here as the champion. One man will have to go away and come back fighting next year. But it's quite intriguing how we got this set up, because after two very eventful races, the grid at least stands thusly.
Apologies for that, everyone. I think we've lost Scott. Either that or the excitement's got far too much for him and he's exploded somewhere in a dingy room in the east of England. There's a hell of a mess to tidy up. That said, he certainly wasn't wrong as we move into this third race of the evening here at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit. It's really is all to play for, and I honestly didn't think we'd be in that position coming into the race. Coming into this third race. I could go through the complicated maths for you, but to be honest with you, I'll do us both a favour and won't bother. The simple fact of the matter is, if Ian D. Smythe wins this race and Stefan Hook finishes in 25th position or lower, then Ian D. Smythe will take the championship. If Stefan Hook manages to keep his car in the top 25, then he will take the championship by probably a lot skinnier margin than he expected, certainly coming into this evening, possibly coming into this last race. It's a lot closer than I'm sure he would have wanted. I'm not sure if you're back with us now, Scott. Have you managed to recover?
I hope so, if you can hear me clearly now.
Yep, there you are.
Good stuff. I think my mic had a bit of a glitch. It's great, final race of the season, and my mic decides to play up at this point, so thanks for that, Snowball. Got it reconfigured it, and we're back in the game. Good stuff. So, we have got at least another 3.5 minutes left in warm-up before we head to the grid for our final race of the season. And you put it very rightly there, that it really is all to play for, really, between these two guys. And it's a mouth-watering prospect, but of course, in order for the thing with Stefan Hook is that, of course, in some ways he's obviously in prime position to keep the championship, but at the same time he's kind of on the back foot, because remember, starting in 10th around with back in the pack, that's what got him into the mess in race 2 on the first corner in the first place. He's starting further back for race 2 in 18th, right in the middle, where there is prime potential for any problems that might occur to cause himself to rear their ugly head. So Hook is going to be possibly feeling content, but at the same time very nervous, because he knows that with a lot of cars around him, literally it takes one slip of concentration for the first couple of corners, once from anyone who just slips on the accelerator or even the brake or just misses their line, and that could seriously change which way the championship swings here tonight by the end of this race.
Yeah, he absolutely starts smack bang in the middle of what I'll call the carnage zone. In the first two races, there were significant incidents in and around that kind of 15th to 20th place starting position. Certainly in race 2, there was a hell of an incident on the back straight on the run down Hawthorne Hill that eliminated kind of 5 or 6 cars from that race. So he's going to have to be very, very careful. If it were me, and knowing the pace he's got, I'd probably let the majority of the pack by, to be honest with you, and then just pick my way through. But yeah, he's in the awkward position of being of 2, maybe 3 minds. He doesn't really know what it is he needs to do or wants to do in this race. From that point of view, Ian D. Smythe is definitely in the box seat, because he knows absolutely all he's got to do is get his foot to the floor, get away cleanly at the start, and just do what he does, which is turn very, very, very quick laps and bring that car home in first place. There's nothing more he can do than that.
What's interesting is that Alain Tessier is back in this one. Of course, he also had to start from the back of the grid after he wasn't present, I believe, in race 2, or either he was, didn't play very much of a part for very long, because Tessier is back for race number 3. He's had an element in there as well. And interestingly enough, the man top of warm-up for the final race of the season, as you'd expect, look at that, Stefan Hook, by almost, but practically, literally 4/10 of a second from Thomas O'Leary. So 23.0 is his fastest lap. He's certainly shown that he's got prime race pace at least. But as we said, this is going to be a real nail biter. Of course, looking down the rest of the top 10, of course, I mean, one man we've got to watch out for, of course, is the man that was so close to that victory in race 2, provided he is racing again in this third race, is Matt Malone. He is in the serve and he is running a couple of laps, so he is in there. So he will take part in this final race, despite the fact he clearly, obviously, wasn't very much aggrieved by the incident he suffered with the driver that was, of course, George Lee Wright. So George, I think, is also in the serve as well. Yes, he is in the car number 20. So there's going to be some interesting stories here that are going to have to be resolved. Of course, we've had the battles down the midfield, of course, with the likes of, like Craig Bellis and Andy Shields been in there as well, Tien Dames, William Botha, or Tony McCallum's been in there as well, Dion Phillips. Those guys all battling away with each other in the midfield behind the leaders. So there's so many stories here to be resolved. This is shaping up, I hope, to be a fantastic season finale, and I really hope it's not an anticlimax because there is so much hype about it. I really hope this race lives up to it.
Yeah, I think either way it's going to be a cracking race. To be fair, I think it's helped. The drama's helped a little bit by the fact that the two guys have different jobs to do. They're not simply nose to tail fighting visibly on the track. And as you say, there are going to be a lot of stories between them. There's certainly a few guys in the race that might feel that they've got some scores to settle or something to prove. Let's just hope that everyone behaves themselves and we get the finish to the championship that the championship deserves.
So for the final time, the cars get gridded up, and of course we'll go through the top 10 as it stands. Then Andy Smythe on pole position. He's in the best possible seat. He has to do everything he can to ensure he gets as many points and hope that Stefan Hook has problems. Richard Wilde alongside him on the front row. Then Michael Stephen, Matteo Ciccaldi, Darrell Taylor, Andy Shield, Craig Burleson, George Lee Wright, Jose Almeida and Dion Phillips. This is it then. It's Phillips or Hook. The revs are going to rise for one final time at the BSR Carrera Cup. The final race of the season here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. And the race begins in a few seconds. It begins right now. I think there may have been a jump start from Richard Wilde because he gets a super getaway from the outside. I think he may have possibly jumped the start. But Stephen will come to the outside and Andy Smythe's already got a shocker. Stephen runs very deep and almost runs onto the grass to allow the 007 Andy Shields up to third place. A great start from him up 2 spots. They head into turn 1 for the first time. But it's Richard Wilde who leads it from Andy Smythe. And as we look now for Stefan Hook, he's back in 18th.
He's made his way up to 16th position. He's right behind Gary Toole. Him and Gary Toole got away very, very well in that race. And we've got a threesome race. We've got Gary Toole, Stefan Hook and Matt Malone all close together. And they seem to have got away well. Hook running in what I believe is 16th position now, trying to chase down Gary Toole and get on with the job.
And he was very lucky because there was an accident behind him involved several cars. I think one of them was Paul Thurston, and I'm pretty sure that Stefan Hook will look at that and literally had a sigh of relief, like, phew! And Smythe has gone around, Smythe spins! Andy Smythe spins from what was third place. That is unbelievable! And Hook's hit the back of somebody as well. He's hit the back of Tony McCallum. Is this actually happening? Because both the championship contenders are running into problems. I do not believe it's for the second racing succession. Both Hook and Smythe have hit trouble on the first lap. What is going on, Marcus?
I'm not sure. Smythe looks like, to be fair, he's been undone by the simulation there. He's tried to make a move around the outside of Richard Wilde. Obviously, we're not sure if Wilde got a jump start penalty, but if he did, Smythe wasn't aware of it. And as he went around the outside of Andy Smythe, there looked to be a good 18 inches or so of daylight between the two cars, but it's just spat poor old Andy Smythe off into the barrier. He's showing car damage, and to be fair, there was no contact, so it looks like a phantom contact. And the iRacing netcode is struck at the worst possible time. And really caught him out. He's spun back across the circuit and had a bit of a problem, and obviously Stefan Hook has gone into the corner and a lot of the cars in front of him had slowed down, and he's just rear-ended Tony McCallum, who was very, very, very slow through Westfield. So dramas certainly for the 2 championship contenders on lap 1.
And I think it's done. I think it's over. Ian D. Smythe tried to get it repaired, but he hasn't restarted. So Ian D. Smythe, I believe, is out of the race. And so effectively, as it stays, effectively we can say it, Stefan Hug, whereas this race, he will be the 2014 BSR Carrera Cup champion, whichever way you look at it. So effectively, the celebrations can be premature for the moment, but we'll confirm it as soon as he comes across the line at the end of the final lap. And I don't think Richard Wilde has clipped the ground, or someone else has gone off in the background, so they're going off everywhere. Because Michael Stevens spinning a complete 260 or 720. I know it's the last race of the season, Marcus, but these guys have lost their minds.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a lot of bad luck going on there. That from Richard Wilde, he's just got on the grass on the outside of Stirling's there, and it's just spatting back across the circuit, and it's spatting back in front of the unfortunate Michael Stephen, who really hasn't done a thing wrong there. Michael Stephen was busy chasing down Andy Shield in front of him, and Richard Wilde has got on the grass there, and it's just fired him across the track, and he's not in full control of the car, and it's just caught. He's just caught 2 or 3 other cars there. There's not a lot he could have done about it, but just one of those things.
Right, correction, Ian D. Smythe is not out of it. He is back on the road. He's not a lap down, but he is pushing hard to try and make sure to see exactly what he can do, to at least there is always hope. If anything happens to Stephen Hook, he just has to keep going and hoping that luck falls his way and that he falls the other way compared to what happened on lap 1. So Ian D. Smythe, his company's still running. He is in 31st. He's a lap 1 minute and 9 seconds down on the race leader, which currently sits for the moment at least, and I say for the moment, is Andy Sheelan with 007. So Smythe is still circulating, and he'll push hard for the rest of the race to see exactly if he can make up any time and any places. So watch out for his lap time to see exactly how he's able to push. Meanwhile, up at the front, now with a rather sizable gap to Craig Burns in 2nd place, Andy Shield, not expecting it, he's out in front, he's leading this race in the 007, with Craig Burns in 2nd, Linus Brosham in 3rd, but under attack now, as he's side by side now with the 27 Stephen Burke, who's in a charging 3rd lap. He's up Crosby, going to take 3rd place as they head into Paddock Hill Bend across the line. Here he comes up the inside, and he just gets the job done on Linus Brosham to take 3rd position from the 96 car, and that's a great job done. After the troubles he had in race 2, great recovery from Burke up into a podium place.
And Hoog up into 9th. There was some incidents on the lap there. Alan Tessier absolutely harpooned Edward K. Friedman going into Stirling's, which took both those cars out of the race, and that allowed Stefan Hoog to jump up into the top 10. So he's running 9th, and he's got Ellis Stevens right behind him, and those who know Ellis knows he's one of the best rear gunners in the game, so he's got a teammate directly behind him. Jean-Christophe Goddard in front of him, and Stefan Hoog is really getting on with it as he takes another place. Dion Phillips gets on the grass, is slow rejoining, so that's Hoog now into 8th place, and I believe Smythe is down in the late 20s, 28th position we're showing him as, so things go in the way of Stefan Hoog despite that spin on lap 1.
I'll tell you something, despite he's had that fast repair for the first lap, already Ian D. Smythe has got a damaged car once again, and he's actually heading, he's sandwiched in between Paul Thurston and Cyril Thomas, and that's going to be, I think, for 28th positions to come across. Is it 28th? No, it's 27th in fact. He's jumped another spot, because I think Christopher Sykes has dropped out of the race, he's now a lap down, so 27th for Ian D. Smythe, but of course, that will not win in the championship by any stretch whatsoever. Stefan Hoog, of course, still running in what is now going to be, is it going to be 8th? Yes, it is now 8th position, so he's now charging up. And as it stands right now, of course, Hoog is going to be champion despite everything that's happened today. In this plethora of incidents that we've had, it's unbelievable how so many incidents we've had going forward. So, but still looking forward back towards the lead. Andy Shells does still lead by 2.3 seconds now from Craig Burleson. They're all starting to spread out now and start to calm themselves down in the top 10. Stephen Burke is now 3rd. Linus Brosham has dropped back now to almost a 2-second gap, and he's falling into the clutches of Benjamin Gregory and Jean-Christophe Goddard. Goddard's got around Gregory and just chasing hard after the 613, after Linus Broström. Jose Almeida is 7th. Stefan Hoog, who is now champion-elect, in 8th place. Dion Phillips now 9th. Just ahead of Ellis Stevens rounding out the top 10, but he's got both Darryl Taylor and Alan Tessier chasing hard in 11th. But it's starting to finally calm down for Ferguson, Marcus. The race is starting to shape itself out, and Andy Shield seems to be taking it steady. In fact, actually he's coming up to lap, would you believe, Ian D. Smythe and also Cyril Thomas. So We said it was going to be quite an action-packed final race, and so far, incredibly for all the situations we've had, it's living up to the hype at least.
Yeah, I've just been looking at Smythe's car and it's quite badly damaged. He got caught up in an incident with George Lee Wright. George Lee Wright was rejoining the racetrack, having had a visit to the pit lane, and he's rejoined alongside Andy Smythe's approach Paddock Hill Bend, and the two of them have just got together. Lee coming out of the pits probably should have got out the way, but that said, they were racing for position, 27th and 28th position. It was, but still racing for position. They've just got together and have spat Ian D. Smythe into the gravel trap at Paddock Hill Bend, and that's where the car damage is, and he's really struggling to hold off Cyril Thomas behind him, and to be fair, I think realistically, given that damage, that's his championship chances well and truly done if they weren't before.
Speaking of the championship, Stefan Hoog has gone around Benjamin Gregory at the inside of Druids. That's up another spot into P7 for Stefan Hoog, and he takes another place up, and he gets one more lap closer to the championship. He now has to try and chase after his next target, which will be Jose Almeida in 6th position, as he goes a little bit wide on the exit of Westfield, as Almeida himself is chasing hard after Lance Brostrom, who has been passed by Jean-Christophe Goddard in 4th place. So the number 9 machine is looking after a podium, and he is running at a great enough pace to possibly get onto the back of the 27 car Stefan Burke as soon as possible, as they all head to end lap number 6. So across onto lap number 7.
Burleson's really making great ground. He's had a couple of great laps, and he's taken 7/10 of a second out of Andy Shiel on that 6th lap. He took half a second out of him the lap before that, and now he finds himself only 1.1 seconds behind Andy Shiel, and it looks to me, going through Druids there and on the run down to Graham Hill Bend, it looks to me like that gap is visibly reducing corner by corner. So Craig Burleson is certainly very, very close, as Shiel has to take avoiding action to avoid 2 cars spinning in front. I didn't see who that was then, Scott. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did. Sorry, ironically, it was George Lee Wright, and would you believe, Ian D. Smythe again.
Oh, those two guys, they're certainly not going to be exchanging Christmas cards, but they both might get a Christmas card from Craig Burleson, because the net result of all that is the number 16 machine now is parked right up behind the rear wing of that 007 machine of Andy Shiel. Craig Burleson showing real pace, and he'll be keen to get past as soon as he can.
So through Westfield now for the 7th time out of 12. We are now past halfway point in this final race, and just 5 more laps after this one are left in the BSR Carrera Cup Championship. And this final race seems to be, it's going to be between Andy Shiel and Craig Burleson for the victory, whilst just behind, Stephen Burke and Jean-Christophe Goddard continue to scrap over 3rd and 4th for that final podium place. And how much would Stephen Burke love to get onto the podium? But at this rate, he runs a bit wide, actually almost drops it, and he's very careful. Yeah, he has dropped it. And that's a shame. He was running so well, it's such a great race too, but he's going to try and rejoin it. He's actually escaped back to the pits, and that's a fast toe, but real shame, just dropped it. He went a little too wide, and I think unfortunately that was a result of the commentator's curse. He was running 3rd, dropped it on the exit, lost the back end straight into the tyres, and there goes a podium place.
Yeah, I didn't mention him, so that must be you. I was just looking at that incident between George Lee Wright and Indy Smythe, and both of them need to be taken outside and given a slap around the face with a wet kipper, to be honest with you. It's there's something going on in it, but it's not racing. They should probably just both park it.
Possibly could be frustrations taking out the fact that they're both having quite a tough race weekend, especially as Indy Smythe. His championship chances are already in tatters, and they're being shredded even further with every single incident he gets involved in, which is rather a shame. But Ian is still going to soldier on. He's currently still being shown is running in, albeit, let's see, 26th place, and actually a lap down on the leaders, of course, as the likes of Andy Shiel and Craig Burleson have gone through already, so it doesn't make it any easier, but still trying to fight through. Anyway, back towards the front, and Andy Shiel still leads by 6/10 of a second, but incredibly, Jean-Christophe Goddard, what a pace he's setting so far. He's immediately sailed straight onto the back of Craig Burleson, hasn't wasted any time whatsoever, and he's lining him up for a pass, and they can come to the pit straight. They're going to be side by side, and I wouldn't be surprised if Goddard's got his nose in front by the time they come across the line. Yes, he has, just in front, and he makes the move up the inside, holding that inside line he had. So Jean-Christophe Goddard is charging now to get a victory in the final race of the season, Matt. Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, he's been quick all year, hasn't he? And to be fair, he's been having to rear gun a little bit for other drivers in the JCL Sim Racing team. That lovely yellow and blue Mile 7 livery that the Renaults used to run in Formula 1. And he's quick. He's going to continue to be quick, and he's got a chance now.
Oh no!
Okay, that's one each then. One for you and one for me. I think probably for everyone else involved in the race, we should stop talking about anybody at all, because we seem to be dropping commentators' curses all over people.
I think we should just say there is a race going on, leave it at that, because effectively if we talk about anyone, they seem to just drop off by the wayside. If we talked about Indy Swipe, he dropped by the wayside. Also Stefan Hogan, he's been involved in an instance, albeit he is on the back now of Linus Broström for 4, so it seems to be working. But now we've lost now both, obviously, first of all Stephen Burt went out, then of course Matt Malone was leading, and then he dropped it in race 2. I think we should shut up for the rest of the race, because it seems to be, if we talk about anyone, immediately they fall to pieces.
Yeah, it's just a shame. It was exactly as I was just saying. A great job that Jean-Christophe Goddard was doing there. He decided to bin it coming through Surtees onto the back straight there. But yeah, cars, trees, sunny day. I'll leave it at that for the rest of the race, I think.
Almost as if the iRacing God said, oh, you want to keep us clean second place? Alright, then have a bit of this. And Jean-Christophe Goddard was the unfortunate recipient of the wrath from the iRacing Gods. But anyway, back to the front now. So again, once again, as it was before, it's battle resumed between Andy Shield and Craig Burleson over the race victory, as we're on lap 10 of 12. So this and 2 more laps to go of the season, and this could be a tasty little fight, despite the fact that the back markers in front don't possibly be a deciding factor and decide exactly who wins this race. Now, Linus Broström has still got Stefan Hug all over the back of him. So incredibly,
fourth now.
Hugi's now in 4th. So that means, of course, as we lost Goddard, it does now mean, of course, that now amazingly, Stefan Hug can celebrate his championship victory, his imminent championship victory, with a podium, provided he can get around Linus Broström smoothly enough. And also, Jose Almeida is still there or thereabouts in 5th, with Alain Tessier further back in 6th. In fact, he's almost 6 seconds back in 6th position, with Ellis Stevens a further 6 seconds back himself, as Broström goes a little bit wide on the exit of Sterling's corner. It's allowed Hug to try and look up the outside, but now the run he might get into, he's so strong off that final corner onto the Jack Brabham straight. He has the toe. Will he be able to pull himself alongside and get himself into a position to make a pass? If he can make a dive down towards Paddock Hill Bend once again, and look at Almeida. Almeida's flying. He's got his foot down here, because I think the fact that Hug is now getting slightly held up by Broström as they start to fight, it now means that Almeida's put himself into the mix, and he can possibly repass Hug now for 4th position. It all could come to play here, but on the penultimate lap. So this season is coming towards its closing stages, but the fights still aren't over yet. Yeah,
Burleson now 0.3 of a second at the end of that last lap behind Shield. But again, it looks a lot closer than that on the racetrack. He's very close to him as they take the run up the back straight, looking into Pilgrim's Drop, and just looking to go up Hawthorne Hill into Hawthorne. So, he's very close, very, very close again. So yeah, there's 1st and 2nd certainly not settled, and 3rd, 4th and 5th looking in some doubt as well. So it really is all to play for going into the last couple of laps.
There's a spin for Alain Tessier, though, so just caught him rejoining, but he has possibly clipped the wall. But he was in 6th. I think he's possibly might have lost one, or I'm not sure if he even has lost any place. So I'm not quite entirely sure. But we'll see if he comes across the line and see exactly how it works. But towards the final corner of Clearways. And here we go then, the final lap of the championship. It's going to be either Andy Shield or Craig Burleson takes the victory. The final tour of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. 2.3 miles will decide it. Here we go. So into Paddock Hill Bend for the final time then. It's Andy Shield still leading. They've got some back markers in front. I think one of them possibly could be, I think the Triple Eight of Cyril Thomas. I think, yes it is. So into Druids as they come through. And still, Shield has the run. What about the battle for 3rd? Has that shaken itself out yet? No, there's still nose to tail.
Yeah, as it was. Linus Broström still in 3rd place, but only 0.2 of a second in front of Stefan Hug, who is only a further 0.2 of a second in front of Jose Almeida. These three really going out hammer and tongs, and Linus Broström in that lovely Hillsborough Memorial livery that he's wearing this weekend. Be very, very keen to keep Stefan Hug behind him, but to be fair, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Stefan Hug is looking very, very racy.
Half a lap to go, and I saw Craig Burleson was getting very close to the back end of Andy Shield. They head now through Westfield. There is now just a few corners left of the championship, and Andy Shield, he's still got that traffic to contend with. But I think unless he drops it, and again, I don't want to curse this one because it happened with Matt Malone with half a corner to go. But it's been a fantastic race, and Andy Shield, it will be unexpected, but he'll certainly appreciate it, albeit if he can keep it in line here. Burleson staying true. And of course, while he looks like he's going to take the victory, of course the spotlight will not be on him. Through the final corner they come then. They won't catch the back markers. There's a bit of time, but someone may have dropped it. In fact, they have on the outside as they come towards the line. Andy Shield will take the final race victory of the season. Burnson will be second. And as they come around the corner, it's going to be Brosham third. And Stefan Hug gets fourth. And with it, he claims the 2014 BSR Carrera Cup Championship after a long fought weekend of racing here and all season. It is finally done. Hug is your champion with fourth place after such amount of effort between him and Ian D. Smythe. You have to feel for Ian. He put in such an effort, but unfortunately fate did not go his way. So congratulations to Stephen. He takes the title, very well deserved. Rest of the top 10 coming through. Almeida gets 5th, Alan Tessier after he spins 6th. Ellis Stevens finishes 7th, a great result for him. Gary Tall fights his way up to 8th after his troubles early on. Benjamin Gregory 9th, and Clark Prett gets the final top 10 spot. But Marcus, it's over, it's done. Stefan Hug, as we predicted, he's our champion, and to be fair, he's been dominant all season, well deserved.
Yep, he's absolutely done what needs to be done to win a championship. He's managed to stay out of trouble. He hasn't caused problems for himself or for anybody else. And we've seen a lot of very, very quick drivers around him. Michael Stevens has been very, very quick. Alan Tessier has been very, very quick. Certainly Ian D. Smythe has been very, very quick. But Hug has been able to keep himself out of trouble, keep it clean, and even on the odd occasion he's found himself down the grid, as he did a couple of times tonight, he's managed to stay out of problems. He hasn't had subsequent accidents. He's managed to keep it clean, and he's driven a great championship and a deserved winner.
And as expected, it's the traditional donuts for Stefan Hug. He does them on the always effectively the service road now, as is also known as the Indy circuit, as they head through circuits in clearways, and he's been celebrating in style, as has Linus Brostrom. He's overjoyed with that third place on the podium. I think that's well deserved, especially with the livery that he's been running. Effectively third place, could have asked for more, I think, unless a win wasn't really on the cards for him, to be fair. But third place, he's got to be happy with that, especially with the livery he's running. That was awesome.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely delighted. We see a lot of him in the BSR TV British Touring Car Championship, and Linus is a great guy. He's a great racer. He races clean. He races in the right way, and I'm chuffed to bits. Certainly, all three guys on that podium. It's a relatively unusual looking podium, but they're all guys that contribute a lot to this championship and race in the right way, and it's well deserved for all of them.
Well, I can say thankfully that our cameraman Steve Richardson has done a very smart thing, because he's actually managed to find the man who has just been crowned our BSR Carrera Cup champion. That is Stefan Hug. So Stefan, if you can hear me, congratulations, you've done it, buddy. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations, mate.
Yeah, tough.
Tough is certainly a word for it, and let's just talk through everything that's happened to you today. Of course, race 1, pretty dominant race victory, went ahead and secured it, so that looked as though it was pretty easy. But then you got to turn 1 at race 2, and it kind of went to pot, didn't it? Just talk us through what happened from your point of view.
Well, race 2 I obviously approached from the point that, just drive it safe, I should be fine. So I see Gary Tall on my inside, think, yeah, I'll leave him plenty of space. Next thing I know is I do 3 or 4 barrel rolls off the track, and I'm just like, right. iRacing crash physics at its best.
And then, of course, you had to spend the rest of the race fighting with Gary through the field, and you managed to get yourself into 18th place. And then come to race 3, involved in the first lap incident again. I mean, what was going through your mind when you made that collision? You must have thought, not again. I'm sure this can't be happening in the last race of the season when I've got a championship to fight for.
I haven't watched back race 3 actually, so I can't really remember what. I had a few contacts with car. I think a car stopped in front of me, and again, but I calculated that I needed to be, I think, 24th or 25th or something like that, and I thought, just drive it safe, and Matt should do the trick, and I should win it.
Oh, fantastic stuff. And also, were you aware, of course, the misfortunes that Ian had as well? Because he had a very tumultuous race number 3, and of course he finished right down the order. But it's been, you guys have been going at it hammer and tongs for the whole season. I mean, of course, how much of a worthy opponent has Ian been across the season, and how great has it been to bring it down to the final race of the season to decide the championship?
Well, Smythe, I'm not sure. He's very good, very, very quick, and I also want to give a shout out to his team. Is it Epicure Banana, I think? Because they've been very fair. Gary Tall never tried to hold me up or anything like that, so they've been a really good bunch of guys. Alan Tessier is also super quick. He took the pole off me. I was a bit disappointed with that. But it's been a turbulent season, but it's been good fun.
And of course, now the championship's done, of course, the question now remains, where do you go from here? And what's next on the agenda for Stefan Hug in BSR?
Well, tomorrow I will try to win the BTCC, but that will be tomorrow it will be role reversal. I'll be Smythe, and Jamie Rushworth will be myself. So that will be tomorrow at 8:50 on BSR TV.
Absolutely, bit of a plug there, of course, for anyone who wants to watch. Of course, you said same time as the 3 races we've had tonight. 10 to 9 for race 1, 9:30 for race 2, and 10 past 10 for race number 3. But yeah, Stefan, again, of course, we'll say it, of course, to myself, and of course, Marcus will hopefully reciprocate it. Of course, I mean, big congratulations for the championship. You fully deserve it after a fantastic season. I mean, Marcus, anything you want to say? Anything you want to add in there to ask to our new champion?
No, just really my congratulations. You know, a comment we made before you joined was you managed to keep yourself out of trouble even when you found yourself, you know, down the grid, or you know you'd had an incident, you found yourself a long way down in the standings. You managed to avoid problems. Is that something you were consciously trying to do, driving for the championship, or were you just hell for leather all the time?
I always try to be very aware of what the guys around me are doing. I try to memorize which drivers are, quote, dangerous or more aggressive. I try to look ahead of the track as much as possible. A lot of people, they stare just at the next corner. I try to look ahead, see, you know, spinning cars and whatnot. So this is something that throughout my sim racing career I've always tried to perfect, is you know, being able to avoid carnage, basically.
Well, you've done it very well tonight, and a worthy champion, and we look forward to seeing what you can do tomorrow and see what next season brings.
Tomorrow I'll need a lot of luck. A lot of luck.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you all the best and all the luck that you can get for tomorrow. And of course, but for now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Stefan Hug, your 2014 BSR Carrera Cup champion. And once again, congratulations, Stefan. Well deserved. Well done,
mate. Cheers. Thank you.
So let's run down the final finishing positions for the final race of the season. It is, of course, Andy Shield who took the victory by half a second from Craig Burleson in second place. Linus Brostrom very happy with third place on the podium, of course, in the final race of the championship. And of course, fourth place is Stefan Hug, as you just heard from our brand new champion. Once again, congratulations to him. Jose Almeida took the final top 5 place. Then Alan Tessier, despite the spin, gets 6th. Ellis Stevens finished 7th, ahead of Gary Toole in 8th. With Benjamin Gregory 9th and Clark Preck rounding out the top 10. Rest of the top 20 is 11th for Daniel Hunt, 12th for Eckhart von Glan, 13th for Romain Boutellier in 13th, Matt Malone 14th after his troubles today, 15th Stephen Burke after his incident early on which put him into the wall after being chased by Jean-Christophe Goddard, then 16th for William Botha, 17th for Anthony Woodward, 18th for Edmund K. Freeman, the last man on the lead lap, with Cyril Thomas 19th and Paul Thurston rounding out the top 20 in our very last race of the championship. And Marcus, I guess that's it. I mean, obviously, our championship's over. We have a champion, and I certainly have to agree. It's been our first ever championship or foray with these brand new rough cars. I think it's safe to say they lived up to their hype, because you can certainly see why some people call it, in their eyes at least, for some people, one of, if not the best cars in iRacing, because it really has delivered such a great championship where literally you go into every race weekend, and apart from 1 or 2 drivers, you really don't know who could win the race. In fact, there's several drivers that could come with the win, and in many cases, that has proved to be true.
Yeah, in many ways it's been the ideal car for this type of racing. You know, the quick guys can be very quick in it. It is twitchy when you're quick. You know, it's very hard to drive this car very quickly, but it's quite predictable if you're just a couple, 1 maybe 2 seconds off the pace. So for those guys who race just for the sheer hell of it, just for the fun of it, knowing that they're maybe never going to compete with the Stefan Hugs and the Alan Tessiers and the Ian Smythes of the world, it means they can join a championship like this, have some good fun with their friends. Guaranteed good racing. I can't say enough good things about the spirit this championship's been fought in, and iRacing continues to do a very, very good job of building a GT car based service, as it's becoming these days, that makes great racing. Whether you're a quick guy, whether you're a midfielder, or whether you're dragging around at the back, you can always have fun.
And just before we wrap up, I'm going to put you on the spot then. If you can remember back to all the races that we've had, in your opinion, I'm not going to ask for a moment of the race. I'm going to ask for what was your moment, your most memorable moment of the season. What do you think defined the BSR Carrera Cup in your eyes? It could be any race that obviously you've seen. What for you was the standout moment of the season that will remember that you will stick in your mind to the BSR Carrera Cup for times to come?
Race 2 last week at Silverstone National for me. It just spoke volumes. Robert Plumley taking second place. Probably the best drive we've seen this year, and I'm not doing anyone a disservice by saying that Robert isn't one of the quick guys. He aspires to be, and he improves with every single race, but to fight off some of the guys he managed to fight off in that race and bring it home in second place it just really brings home everything I've said about the championship. You don't have to be quick to enjoy and get good results in this championship, and that for me, it just epitomised the championship and the fun you can have in iRacing. So that for me sticks out head and shoulders above everything else.
Fantastic. Well, I'd say it generally has been a pleasure commentating on the championship with yourself, Marcus. You've provided some great insight. You've been a great co-commentator. I have to say, it's been fantastic. So for the season, I have to say, thank you very much.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent stuff. And I not just I hope, but I know it won't be the last time that me and Marcus commentate together, because it has been fantastic across the season. And of course, it won't be the last time I commentate in BSR, because it's been a wonderful championship, and I really have to thank the likes of Chris Cohen, Ellis Stevens, Steve Richardson, everyone who does our cameras, everyone who takes part in BSR, and of course Marcus specifically, everyone we've commentated with who's been part of the team going forwards. They've all put on a fantastic job, and BSR continues to grow in leaps and bounds. So for me personally, thank you very much to everyone for their hard effort. Of course, thank you to iRacing for putting on a fantastic service, for also providing Rough for creating such a fantastic car and the RT12R track spec machine, to all the drivers who put on such a great show, and of course to our champion Stefan Hug. And for that pretty much wraps it up. That is season 1 of the BSR Carrera Cup all done and dusted. Whether or not we'll see another season, who knows, remains to be seen. I certainly hope so, because it's been a wonderful championship. But for myself, Scott Woodward, from Marcus Naris, and from Steve Richardson, for anyone who's watched across this season, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. It's been so great to have your support, and hopefully you've enjoyed all the racing that's gone across the spectrum. And we'll leave you, of course, with the one line that everyone now knows, of course, and possibly going to be one of the most popular in the community. Stefan Hug is your 2014 BSR Carrera Cup champion. Can he repeat it tomorrow? Tune in tomorrow for the final round of the RS BTCC Championship from Brands Hatch Grand Prix. But from all of us here, thank you so much for watching, and take care for next time. Until then, bye for now, and thank you very much.